Wants to actually start having like a television show, but we're the hosts and you the guests. So we're going to sit here and talk and see how you guys are doing. We'll talk about fashion, we'll talk about cooking, we'll talk about design. It's just going to be different. So today we're just going to basically be sitting with you guys and having a frank conversation, of where things are going in this world with COVID. So what I would like to do is start out by, Monica and I are both going to introduce you to everyone, but I'm going to start by who I am. So I'm Jason Cathcart. I am the general manager of the showroom here in West Hollywood. We actually call it a city center, but for you folks, it's called a showroom, so you kind of understand what it is. And in this event space, we kind of educate people. So we educate them on the products that we have, which is silestone, depth done, and natural stone, and how you guys can use it in your designs. Our materials can be used on furniture, can be used on flooring, can be used on facades, can obviously countertops, and many different aspects it's able to be used. So I've been with Cosentino for approximately 4.5 years. I've done interior design for 26 years, so I can kind of work with you guys and know exactly the lingo that you guys are talking about. So yeah, so that's me. And then now we have Monica. She'll tell a little bit about herself.
My name is Monica Sands, and thank you all for being here. I know it's a very challenging time for us in our industry. I have been with Cosentino since January, only less than a year. I am an ADSM, which is the Architect and Design Sales Manager for Cosentino. I am learning quite a bit about the company. It's an amazing company to be at. We have great brands that are globally known, and I'm really excited to be able to sit here with you today to kind of change it up, because we have been stuck at home doing Zooms. It's a new way of doing our business, so thank you both, all three of you, for being here.
Yes, definitely. And I'm going to start by introducing Jessica. Jessica comes from Polyform. She's attended the Rhode Island School of Design and studied industrial design. She has been working with Polyform for approximately 16 years and worked in New York and London office, and now she's moved to LA. She is currently the general manager of Polyform in Los Angeles, where she specializes in residential and commercial projects. She brings her design inspiration through her passion to ensure that her clients have the best design that they can possibly have.
Thank you for being here, Jessica.
Yes,
thank you
Jessica.
So much. And over here to our far left is Carola. And Carola is an architect from Spain, currently working at Relativity Architects here in LA. She loves to be hands-on, detail-oriented, and loves to learn while developing her own style. She has always worked in both architecture and interior design, and discovered Cosentino early in her career, and found that it's one of her favorite brands. She has lived and worked in many cities from Amsterdam, Paris, New York, and LA. Thank you, Carola, for being here. And also in the middle here is Joey Shimoda. And Joey Shimoda and Susan Chang founded Shimoda Design Group in 2000 in the Arts District of downtown LA. The firm grew from inside to out, steadily gaining a reputation for innovative workplace interiors, history-conscious building renovations, and bold, forward-looking, creative campuses. They have recently completed projects in Chicago, Brooklyn, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. With each project, their eclectic sensibilities merge with a unique client culture for engaging, enlivening, transformative design. Thank you, Joey, for being here.
Yes, thank you guys all for coming. So I kind of would just like to start out the conversation with, anyone can jump in here. I would like to kind of know, everyone wants a big open space. At least that was before COVID, and now that COVID has happened, we're trying to find spaces for people to work at home. We're trying to find places for the kids to do their schooling at. So how do you, I'm going to start with you, Joey. Okay. How do you see new designs coming? Are they still going to want the open areas to somehow block it off? Or what do you see happening?
Well, I think the pandemic has actually sort of sped up what we thought was already starting to happen.
Yeah.
Which was that we're finding that far more people they're more introverted than extroverted, and they needed to find more ways of having focused work. And so we were already starting to think about balancing the open workspace with enclosed areas.
Yeah.
Now I think we have an opportunity to start being fully enclosed, partially enclosed, and then fully open.
Right.
But I think the new element that came in that's the wild card is that there's maybe less people, up to 50% less people in the spaces than before. And that means people have to set up their own home environments to create, like you say, if they're with children or with another spouse that's working at home as well, their home environments now have to transform to be also work environments. I think it was really weird. Before we were trying so hard to make it work feel like home.
Yeah.
But it was always another place.
Right. It has to be multi-purpose now.
Yeah. And now it's both places are having to do different duties.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I'm seeing with this COVID is a lot of the companies are now seeing that you don't have to be in the office.
Right.
That typically it was like, oh, you work from home, you're not doing full capacity.
It wasn't seen as productive.
Yeah, it really wasn't, but I think now it is because people are doing the Zoom calls. I'm loving that this is in person, but they're doing the Zoom calls. I talked to my aunt, and she said, Jason, I probably work 9 hours at home, where I was only working 4 hours, at the office because I was right across from the copy machine. So everyone was trying to talk to me, and I wasn't getting my work done. So. Yeah, I totally get that, and I think it's gonna be the new norm. Is people like for Google or Apple or all them, they're gonna now start working more at home because they're seeing they don't need these big campuses, and yeah, they're all nice, and I wish I had some of those perks too. But it is what it is.
I think there's going to be a larger emphasis on transitional spaces,
Mm-hmm.
where it's multi-purpose.
Right.
So. Using different products or furnishing or different things, elements inside the space that can be used in different ways depending on what the task is at that time. So transition of opening up spaces when you need, or after the workday, but then closing it off when someone needs privacy or having a meeting or needs some sort of communication and quiet. So I think there's going to be a lot more transition within space.
Kind of like the doors that go from the indoor-outdoor, they can fold into the wall.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of amazing because I saw that actually before COVID, it was maybe about a year, and they kind of had that. They kind of had the doors to separate the dining room or the the home office, just so the father or the mother could have their own private little space. The kids or whoever was in the home could still see the parent, but they just weren't able to communicate unless they were making faces at them or something like that.
Yeah.
What about you? You're the architect here. Do you work more at home or
The thing is, as I was telling you before, I came to LA just before
I know,
COVID
that was crazy.
began, and I think in Europe, I don't know if every country, but we're more used to the working from home thing. Not all the time, but I was in France before, and
Right.
I was already working from home a couple of days a week.
Okay.
So we already had like this mix, and it works. I mean, it was kind of not funny, but like kind of I know what we are doing. Like okay, it's working from home. It's not that weird. So definitely that's something that I was missing in the US for sure, or that I would miss. And I think that's exactly what you were saying. I think people think it's not going to be productive.
Right.
It's absolutely like the opposite.
Yeah, because you're
Or
quiet,
not.
you don't have all the distractions.
Actually, it's really good because you learn how to be super strict with your hours and your balance and your life. But yeah, I mean, for me it was like a mix, so it was great.
Yeah.
So at the beginning it was like, oh, good, I know how to handle this, even if I'm new.
Yeah.
But what I think, because that's like kind of one barrier, oh, now we're working from home, and now we're like used to work from home. But I think that's what's gonna have an effect because
Right.
it's easier to create your environment at home. Like you're okay at your place because you create it for yourself. So you get used to it faster, I guess, to a different office.
Yeah.
So that has almost become the new trend, a new trend working from
Not
home.
only trend,
But here in America,
going
'cause, yeah.
backwards, I think the trend is perfect, and it's something that, as like a super fast effect in the US is going to be great. Like, okay, you didn't want it, but now you have it, and you're going to like it, and now you're going to include it. But now I feel it's going to be more like people feel safe at home, they're comfortable at home, and now they're wanting this outside.
Well, what I like is I don't have to get all dressed up to be at home.
Also,
Which is
I don't have
good or bad?
Well, it is good.
In every sense, that happens in every sense, actually.
But you know, my neighbor upstairs, he literally he's so regimented that I can hear when the shower goes on. He takes a shower at the same time, and he gets dressed, and because he says, in order for me to be productive at home, I have to act like I'm going to my work.
Yeah.
So
many people need
That's
that.
it.
They need structure. They need to set the routine early morning, continue with what their workday would be,
right.
so they can feel productive. Especially for students now who are at home, you need to get them up as they were going to be going from home to school, so they feel like they're still in a class setting. So I think that's really important to maintain, you know, normalcy for the kids and even for some adults as well.
Well, yeah. Are any of you guys parents?
No.
No. Okay. Because that's got to be. I mean, I've got to. I mean, how old are your kids? Any of them in high school or anything?
I have a senior and a freshman in college.
Yeah. So so the good part about that is they're old enough. But can you imagine having children, like kids? Yeah. I mean, I know so many teachers that are like, oh my God, Jason, they see in the background, they see a dog or a cat going by, and like it's like butterflies, you know. They lose their concentration. So that's a new way of, you know, parents have to deal with that. They're now becoming the sort of the teacher when the teacher can't do it, and who's watching those kids and that kind of thing. I mean, I want to go to you for a second. You know, you design kitchens and furniture and all that stuff. Do you have your clients come in and say, oh, well, we no longer need that ridiculously huge island. We need a desk area back in the kitchen, which everyone was getting rid of that desk area, you know, because it was so, but now we need it back so they have a workspace to go in, and they can still cook, and they can still talk and interact and see the kids doing the homework, because let's be realistic. Are kids really doing what they're supposed to be doing when they're supposed to be doing it? No. So have you seen that?
I think that there's an importance with having the family together, and I think that's something that's been a trend, or it's been a focus for many years. That's not something that's new. And I think that the difference that we're seeing now is, I wouldn't say necessarily the office in the kitchen, but definitely having a dedicated office space. And the clientele that we deal with mostly have an abundance of space, so it's usually not that much of a struggle to find that kind of office area. But I think the difference now is that it's also technology has become a huge part. In technology in even the kitchen and these type of spaces, places to plug stuff in, places to have, you know, all of the elements, the Wi-Fi, you know, all of these things that are essential now for both work and for education of their children.
Well, 2 years ago at the KDIS, we partnered with you guys, and everything that you just said, I mean, it was an absolutely beautiful kitchen. It was dark, it had our countertops on it, it was so exquisite, and it got a lot of publicity and a lot of, like, interests. People are like, oh, who does the cabinets? Who does the countertop? Obviously, who does the countertops? It's us. But I mean, like, it just all flowed, but it had all the technology. I mean, I was pushing things like, I'm a designer. I've done the project design, so I'm just like, oh, that's something new. I love that. So that's what I really love and appreciate about the partnership that we have, but that we had at KDIS. It was really an experience.
So right now, are your client? What has been the big change since this happened? Has the program changed? People come and ask for different things, or has it been mostly the same?
I think people are seeing the value more. If that makes sense, like they realize that the time that they're spending in the kitchen or in the space, because we do, you know, closets and wall systems and all of these different elements of the house, how important function is as well, because a lot of times, especially in the kitchen, I have clients that are very into cooking, and then I have clients that really use it as a storage space. A decorative storage.
Well, we have that
So they realize that you can't go out to eat all the time anymore. And you're bringing stuff in and it's not the same experience. So you have to kind of tailor your home to create that experience that may be something they hadn't thought about before, you know? So, especially in kitchens, which is such a personal space, where people are, even if they don't cook, tend to be passionate about it.
Yeah, I still think it's the hub of the home.
It is.
I really do. I think it's still the heart and where everyone goes.
That's where everybody collaborates, that's
Yeah.
where everybody comes down and talks about their day and just, what did you do today? How was your day? You know, how about outdoor design, outdoor living? Are you seeing an increase in that type of environment?
There is, and I think it's bringing the indoor into the outdoor. And I think this is also something that's been trending for a little while. It's just like you had said, it's being sped up because of this situation. Is that you know, people are stuck at home, you know, so they have to take advantage of that kind of outdoor space,
Yeah.
and especially with families, people that have children, to be able to kind of entertain them in a way, to be able to go outside and play and, you know, do what children like to do, play sport and all that. And since they can't go to their soccer team,
Right.
they have to find a way to do that at home. So a lot of that kind of environment is changing, and a lot of focus is going on to the home. And I think that's why design and architecture and interiors and furnishings has become actually more important at this time, you know, because it's really a focus of your home living, which is really, really important.
Right. Well, how about you, Carola? Are you seeing, like, are you working on projects for making the exterior as beautiful as the interior? Like, are you seeing that trend because they want I know we're in California, and that's really big here in California is the indoor-outdoor space. I mean, I can't tell you how many reality shows, I guess you call them, that I'm watching and I'm seeing that. So what are you actually seeing happen?
The thing is that when I came, it was really fast, like 1 month after we were in all this madness. So I saw how most all the projects were switching, like adjusting to COVID. Like exterior ones were like adjusting, you know, like dimensions and how much we can have the security, like to feel safer. And others were exactly like this, just completely changing the idea of this space. Like, we were using the space that we were working before, like, differently, so of course, like, we need to expand it, like, yeah, and I need to feel safe, and I need to feel more space, and I need to feel more secure.
Right.
So we are having everything, like, from just seeing what's going on with all the furniture that we had, that now you can use
Well, see that?
fit, or, yeah.
So I want to go off of that
Yeah.
for just a hot second. So, you know, the thing I like about one of our products called Declan, which I know you all know about, but, you know, not everybody out there does know, is, you know, I just got done working with a designer 2 weeks ago, and they literally were doing the whole outside. I mean, they were doing the pool, they were doing, like, and this is all in our decorative material, which is awesome. So they were doing it in a pool, they were doing it on the outside of the pool, they were actually, just like our facade up there, they had a fireplace that they were, I literally asked this gentleman if I could move into the guest house, because the guest house is bigger than my apartment. I think it was like 2,000 square feet, so it's bigger than that. So you can only imagine what that main house was. But I mean, they had little sections. They had the fire pit, they had the fire feature, they had the water feature, they had the pool, they had the sauna, they had this little lounge area. And literally everything is being done in our material, which I think is amazing. There's only like one couple things that they just wanted natural stone on, and they're looking at our natural stone as well. So that's the outdoor to me is because people want to get them out of the house. They want to get the kids out of the house. They want to get their husbands out of the house. I mean, even my boss is probably going to kill me when he watches this, but like, he loves to just go sit at his pool and just relax and get away from the kids and get away from the family just for like 10, 15 minutes. You know, so it's just.
Well, plus being in California, being in California, you can't beat this weather. You want to be outside.
Well, except for this week. This week's
But
hot.
it's so nice you can sit outside in
Yeah.
the evening time. You don't even have to have a jacket or a sweater or blanket. It's really nice. I'm glad you mentioned our product because, as you all know, I'm new to Cosentino. I've been here since earlier this year. It's not even a year. And what I've learned about Cosentino is their culture. They have a very family-oriented culture. We have so much respect for our employees and our customers, our clients like yourselves. So what I'm learning about Cosentino is not only about our brands, but just the culture. Joey, what have you, let me ask you, where did you first learn about Cosentino? Why do you use Cosentino in your projects?
Well, I think we had been doing a lot of interior and exterior remodels. That's how we started our firm. And we had a situation where we were doing lobby. And it was, we wanted to use stone, but the schedule did not allow us enough time to get the proper stone. And so we started looking at soft stone as an opportunity to think about a different way of getting big pieces that were very consistent, because the biggest concern with stone had a range, and the client was incredibly particular about range, and that we can ensure that. So we had the two things were about size and about the quality of consistency and about the design. So those three things all meshed together, and all of a sudden we were probably one of the first people in LA to put it all on the floor. And the big pieces, like, you know, the 4-foot by 10-foot pieces.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And on the wall with multiple sort of cuts in it. So it was multiple layers of the material. And so that's the first time we learned of it. And most recently, I think, when you talk about this idea about indoor and outdoor, our projects have actually, our biggest project right now is a remodel of an old post office building in New York, which is about 800,000 square feet. But our roof deck garden is about 70,000 square feet. And so we're using Decton there to simulate stone, but has a lot more durability. It has a lot more ease of fabrication and consistency of look. So we're using it everywhere we would normally use stone.
And it won't be affected by
and in New York, it's really tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. And so the material we chose was primarily, you know, because of its durability and its design. But what we think is the biggest selling point of the space is now, with 800,000 square feet of office, you still have 70,000 square feet of private garden. So now all of a sudden, your team can literally be outside whenever they want to be outside. They don't have to be confined to the space. And we think that's a really big factor in what people are going to look for in a workspace.
I think so, especially if you're outdoors in a nice environment, like you just said.
And it's protected.
You feel
You know
happy.
who's there.
You're productive. You're relaxed. You want to be there at work, doing what you do best, right? You don't feel like, oh no, here I'm going to go into this run-down office.
Right.
And you take pride in all you do. So that's great. I would love to see that.
So going from commercial to residential, we're just going to bounce back and forth. I'm just loving this conversation. But, you know, everyone is involved in remodeling their kitchens. But realistically, I'm personally seeing a trend, and I want to see what you think about bathrooms. People are trying to make these, you know, before it was like, oh, just stick the tub in that, it's fine, we're just in there to do our whatever and go. Well, no, now, I mean, it's no longer, like, the master bathrooms are usually the ones that get the attention. What are you guys seeing with bathrooms? Are you seeing it, like people doing the kids' baths or the guest bath? Like they're trying to make it, I know powder rooms, people try to make them, you know, they're little boxes. They try to put this crazy wallpaper on, make it this elegant piece. I mean, I know I would too. If I had a half bath or something like that, I would be doing something crazy. But, you know, I make my bathroom a little like you made. But like, what do you see?
Absolutely. For me, it was already a shot that you just start your bath.
Yeah.
Sorry, and then just, you know, the tile around like the sink and no. So clients don't want that anymore.
Right. I went to my friend Michael's house this weekend in San Diego, and he literally, it was odd for me the first time I saw it, he had the egg tub 4 feet away from his bed. Like he literally took out the wall, it made it almost like a hotel suite, but it was very zen, because he had the two floating. He actually, I don't understand this, but he took this probably 3-person shower, turned it into a 1-person shower, just to make it all zen and even and make it all work. And at first I was just shocked, but then I was just like, wow. You know, like it works, and everyone's different. You know, that's the thing. Your taste, everyone's taste is different. My taste changes. Depends on if I lived in San Francisco or I lived in Florida. Every different time I've made my apartment or house how it fit the house. And I mean, I'm totally getting rid of everything and starting over fresh.
Yeah, I think that you just see a lot of things that you can include in your place. Like, I don't know, of course I'm going super, you know, far. Like you go to Spain, why not have the same feeling?
Right.
You know? And
as long as
I don't know,
happy.
that person has seen it a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it's really personal, but for example, in my experience, my grandma's had like these beautiful big bathrooms. I remember the travel, you could sit down with them and you could hang out.
Yeah.
And you were in an old house with the wooden beams, was that?
You mean you didn't have the grandma that had
And they were,
styrofoam
I mean, they were
seats?
average.
The flat that was what was that? You literally sat down in the cushion.
Yeah.
And then had the embroidery on the top.
That's like, that's a small bathroom, it's just the tile next to where you were
Yes.
literally putting water on the
Right.
walls. For me, they were a shock, like, why is this going on? You know? And then you understand.
Well, but I'm even seeing more bidets. You know,
I mean,
with old work
that's gone. I
attached.
think I just see that in Spain.
Really?
And
Oh, no,
I'm
I actually see it
shocked
more here
when I
now.
see it on the fixtures and you just look at them and you still see it. It's like, oh, it's really sexy.
Well, the great part is, I mean, we just went to the grocery store before I cooked all this stuff, and toilet paper was $23. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was so annoyed. I'm like, well, you know what, if I had a bidet, I wouldn't even need that toilet paper.
Well, here's something to think about. Now that everyone is at home,
Yeah.
the only place in the house that you have true privacy by
Privacy?
yourself
No, you don't.
is the bathroom.
No, you don't.
Well, it
You
depends.
got class, right?
It
Knock on that
depends.
door.
It depends.
But typically, yeah.
Even your dog calls you to the
That's right,
bathroom.
yes.
Yeah, right?
Pets are different.
Yeah.
But no, the truth really is like that's the kind of the space that you can kind of really relax and really kind of
Well,
have
have you seen those
that moment to
commercials
yourself.
when there's a lady in there just laying on the ground, on the floor, you know,
The kids outside banging.
and just like, oh, you know, down or whatever. Yeah, you're right. It's become your own private little getaway.
And I think
time.
Yes.
And mindfulness is really important these days because there is so much going on and people are affected by what's going on so drastically and differently that to have that kind of zen or oasis or just little bit of calm that creates a feeling.
Yeah.
And like if you're going into a powder room and it's like crazy, you're like, wow, you know, it like creates a feeling as well. It might be obviously different from if you're going into a master that's calming and serene. You know, so creating those small little pockets of environment and feeling is really kind of what I like about design anyway.
Do you guys see any new trends coming on? Like,
Clear, like light colors.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
COVID trend. Like they feel
just so it's bright and open?
and I think it's more about like the surface is clean.
Okay.
For some reason, like dark colors.
Mhm.
I mean, I think for some reason they're real uniform.
Yeah.
We all go to the same, but yeah, it doesn't matter the client. It's like really.
Like white still very popular.
Yeah, I mean, this one, for example, could be light one, you know, but yeah, it's
Well, that's
definitely a switch.
Right. When I'm working with my clients, I kind of always tell them, keep the palette, I'm just going to say it, keep it white, and then constantly, not constantly, but like, if you're a designer, you always want to change things out. I mean, I'm doing it to my, I just did it during COVID, and now I'm thinking of these new ideas, but like, put it in the accessories, and the pillows, and the curtains,
Oh,
and
I'm
that stuff.
constantly changing pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time of the season.
And it really does step it up and does change it, because you can't always go buy a $5,000, $20,000 sofa. You know? I mean, I'm stuck with
Just
these
change the
circuits, you know, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but a neutral base could always have like a dark kitchen.
Exactly.
And I have had kitchens switch literally. Like, we are going to rent all of this, and we want people to feel this is clean. So
Right.
we are changing black to white or beige or whatever. So that's definitely.
Well, because we've been consistent here,
Hospital.
like, yeah, well, let's hope it's not that sterile, you know, kind of thing.
Not hospital.
Right, but you know, what I like about the COVID, and I know it's going to sound weird, what I like about the COVID, is we're by appointment only. So we're getting quality people coming here that, you know, they're not going to let you lose and that kind of stuff. But and the reason why I'm asking you what you see as a trend is I see no trend. People are looking for dark, people are looking for light, people are looking for cream, people are looking for white, people are looking for brown. I do feel that more of the creamy whites are coming in. I mean, even some of our new colors, like we have this this sky, it's you know,
Liquid sky.
liquid sky. We kind of went around and I had the samples on the table, but our new collection, and even last year's collection, it's so real. You know, we over here have the Argo, which looks almost exactly like the Taj Mahal. I love the story, I tell it, so I might as well tell it now. We had a designer that basically says, I hate fake stuff. Okay, great, fine, whatever. She goes, I don't need it to look fake. And she didn't like or something. And I said, and she's like, I'm looking for something that looks like marble. I'm like, okay. She's like, but I don't want fake. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I had a sample of our real Taj Mahal, and I put it up to that sample. She's like, perfect, I'll take it. She wasn't even here. This was like kind of one of the virtual things. And I'm like, well, this is our decorator. She's like, no way, that looks so realistic. And that's what I like, that Spain is being innovative, and they are, Spain, aka, Cosentino, being innovative in making a lot of the new materials look real. And people are, because you can use decking on facades, fireplaces, interior, exterior, it's heat resistant, UV resistant, thermal resistant, all that stuff, whereas our quartz, and all the other quartz out there, you can't put those on there because it has the resins. The glues that, can expand, contract, yellow, and crack. I just said that a lot. So that is one of the things about the deck that I'm liking.
It's not flat, it's not
no, just, you're looking at it right now, and
exactly.
it looks natural.
Fake is when you have like printed image or something that's just the texture kind of trying to, and you see that they shine, or even the touch is not the same. And here you just don't really see it, and you get more.
Right. Do any of you guys use any of our material for furniture yet?
Yeah.
Because literally that table next to you, that's decking, and this is decking. So people are just like, oh, they think it's like a one-use thing, but realistically, it is for almost everything. I mean,
we're literally a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We do just everything with decking, with quartz, with our natural stone.
Because we have the flooring, we have the facades, we have countertop, we have furniture, so it's multi-purpose. But have you used?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just creating space, and it makes sense to have, deck from the kitchen.
Right.
I don't know, but then you're creating furniture, like completely investor, and you have some, I don't know, detail, like you just use it all sort of next to the shelving or in a nice niche, and then you play with the light. Here, it doesn't even have to be the same finish. It's just using other collection, other color. You have amazing stuff. You can naturally.
And like right behind you, we have our deck on slim too. You can use that for cladding onto furniture, as we discussed, and also shower walls for cabinetry as well.
Yeah, we can put it on Polyform's cabinets.
And just cladding some walls, and if you use it really, really thin, we have issues of some, play with the light behind it. I mean,
well, since here's the thing too. I'm not Oprah, I'm not Ellen. They have segues that just flow. I don't flow. But what I want to ask is, I also, we want to talk design, but we also want to get to know you guys. That's why you're here. So I'm going to throw this question out for all three of you. When COVID is done, I'm going to start with you, Jessica. Where do you want to go? Where's the place that for 4 months you're just like, oh God, when COVID's over, I've got to go and I've got to go visit?
Honestly, I've gone to Italy because Polyform is based in Italy, and I've gone to Italy almost every year in the 16 years that I've been working with them.
Well, how about this? We'll go, once we can go to Spain for the tour and the little trip, we'll go there, and then you and I will go to Italy, because I wanted to go there too.
Amazing.
I dated this guy that was from there, and we always talked about it.
It's, it's a fabulous country. The people, the food, the culture, everything about it is like encompassing, fully encompassing, and I just miss that kind of interaction.
Well, I want to see the real spaghetti, and I want to just see not the American spaghetti or the American sushi or all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I feel very comfortable there because I spent so much time there, and I think now that you'll be able to be released into the wild, you kind of want to go somewhere that you're going to feel like, this is
that sounds lovely.
Exactly. How about you, Joey?
Well, for me, the first thing I think about is I feel that the freedom that we used to have to go anywhere and do anything with anybody and not be afraid it's going to be a while before we recapture that. And I feel like I want to find that first, whether it's going to the cities where my friends are and going to the places we like to go eat. And that would be great. So then I think the next thing would be all the places I've never been. And now it makes me worried that something else might happen and I couldn't travel anymore.
Right.
Because I would travel 3 months out of the year for the last 5 years. And so this was like, boom, completely changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Carola?
Yeah, but this is the wrong question for.
Okay, but you can't say
Foreigner.
you can't say you want to go to Italy. Okay,
You can't say Spain.
Yeah, you can't say Spain. But
Anywhere but Spain.
No, but I mean, it's weird because it makes you forget
Yeah.
where you wanted to be before this. I mean, of course you have the list of places you wanted to be, and we were also missing this year, like Italy's Milan Design Week.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I
it
was
was
missing, and now I am just craving for Milan, you know. And
Yeah.
as they are both saying, of course. I mean, Italy is just because I really like it, and I left Europe like super fast. I was just missing like, why I didn't know this for 1 week, you know, before. So, but yeah, I mean, it's the wrong question because the first places I want to go when this opens is literally here in LA, everywhere. I still couldn't go. I still couldn't visit anything.
Do you hike?
Architecture places.
Do you hike?
Yes, but hikes you can do.
Yeah, no. There's a hike I want to go on with you. I'm serious. Escondido. Well, I can't. I got to work. You know. Well, actually, I'm going with the client. Sorry.
Client meeting on the hills.
Client meeting. Yeah. Escondido Falls in Malibu. It's one of my newest favorites. It's got waterfalls that are absolutely amazing.
Please, because I also need hosts for this kind of.
Yeah. No. Seriously. Well, that's the great part about this job. So you guys aren't just clients/customers. However you wish to look at it. You know, I have become so many friends. That made no sense. I have become friends with so many of you guys. I mean, I just went out to dinner last night. I went to San Diego. I went to Orange County this past weekend. I went out with clients then. So I almost kind of like, trust me, I have way too many friends. Sorry guys if you're watching this. But I have a lot of friends. But it's nice to also become friendly with you guys because I'm interacting with you guys probably 60% of my life. The other is the few hours of not working, you know, kind of thing. But on today's episode of Cosentino, whatever we are, you know, we're almost done. So I kind of want to, I'm gonna say this, and I just want to thank you guys first of all for coming. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed the food that I cooked. I know that y'all said it was, and I know it was amazing. But most importantly, I love the partnership we have, the partnership that we have, and I love that you guys are, I don't want to say pushing our product, but like speccing our products or talking about our products, and that to me is important because without you guys, we have no job. Okay, and I know my job here is, and in her job, is to go out and keep the relationships, because truly that's what it's about the relationships. Because there's other companies out there that they'll drop their stuff off and then you never heard from them. You know, and I mean this, if you guys have that and you don't hear from your rep or whatever, please reach out to me. You know, I don't think you're gonna have that problem because Monica is your rep. And
well, like I said earlier too, it's within our culture that we feel like that.
Right.
And not only are you customers, but I've been fortunate. Today I met you, so I'm going to be hearing from you. But Joey and Carola, you know, I met you early on. Well, early on was over the phone, but I got to know you over the phone.
Right.
We finally met face to face, and it's a friendship. And like Jason said, honestly, if there's something that we can do to assist you, whether it be project or just friendship, you're looking for advice, whatever, we'd love to
How
talk.
about when COVID first happened, I was talking to people on the phone and we weren't even talking work.
Yes.
We were talking like, oh my God.
That's how we bonded with a lot of customers because
we
missed that connection. So we're talking about our family life, personal things that we probably would never speak to each other about. But because of COVID, I guess that's the one good thing that did come from COVID is the fact that we're able to talk about more than just work and
because that's
products.
the connection that we're then getting. Because then you're like, oh my God, she took her time, he took her time.
Yeah.
Like they really, because that's the thing. When I was an account manager, I think that's why my territory misses me is because I literally would go there and we would just talk. You know, and it wasn't always about work. Work came second, because people are to me. And, you know, without you guys, like I said, there is nothing. Okay, so. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap this up because our hour is up, and you know we could talk forever. But yeah, but seriously, thank you for coming. And then what I will say to you guys out there, if you need anything from Cosentino, you need to talk to us. You want to be part of this? Please DM us, email us, whatever, because we're going to be having a lot more of these. We're going to do different segments. You know, I'll probably have you guys back. We're going to have a cooking segment. We're going to have a fashion segment. You know, as my fabulous name. But you know, we just want to get out there and we just want to talk to you guys, and we really do appreciate you guys actually coming in. That to me is the most important. Like, I'm a hugger, I can't hug any of you guys, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we're social distancing right now, but you know, we had our masks on when we weren't eating, and now we're talking. I mean, we're family, so it's like we can be next to each other. But you guys, you know, I think you guys felt comfortable here, felt safe. You know, we try to at least make that. So thank you for coming. Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Until next time, guys.